What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV back here for another episode of Player Ratings as Spurs lost 4-3 at Anfield yesterday. And let's get straight into it, starting with Fraser Forster. Sim gives him a 5. I gave him a 6. Look, at the end of the day, he faced 4 shots on target throughout the day and conceded 4 goals. But I did feel like, especially for the goals in the first half, I didn't really think he could have done much about them. I thought maybe he could have got down a bit quicker for Jota's one right at the end, but I'm not really going to mark him down too much on it. But you can't really face just 4 shots and concede 4 goals.
Yeah, look, 100% rate, isn't it? What can you say? I thought his passing on the day out from the back had a mixed result. Some of them were decent to Porro, but then some of them were hurried and rushed and out of play. So mixed down that front. I can't give him any marks up because he didn't make any saves. So what can I say? I think Jones's one was fairly near to him as well. Could have got maybe lower for that, but it was quite close range. Diaz, good finish at the near post, wasn't exactly in the corner. And then Jota's, as you say, maybe could have got, but it was right in the corner. Maybe could have got down low with tight angle, but I can't give him too many marks, down or up.
Yeah, fair enough. Next up, Romero, 5s all round from us, and we saw the best and the worst from Cuti Romero yesterday, to be fair. Defensive-wise, I thought he was poor, especially for the goals that we were conceding. The first one, Porro should have got over to his man, but Romero was also... Romero and Porro just marking the same person. I mark Porro a lot more worse than that goal for sure. Second one... Romero should have got closer to Diaz, caught dawdling a little bit, and the third one, he gives away a needless penalty really and goes to ground way too easily. But he did influence things going forward. He hit the post with an adventurous run and a volley against the post, and then obviously he did that lovely dink to play in Sonny to set us on our way to another goal. So we saw some good and bad in there from Romero yesterday.
Exactly. So I think we saw the best and the worst from him. Unlike maybe some of the other defenders, he did start to improve after a dreadful first half, and you got to give him credit for that. But you have to mark him down for what was a horrendous defensive display in that first half, pretty much all over the shop. I do feel like a lot of the time with Romero, we say it a lot, but if you put calmer, better defenders around him, I think you're going to see a different Romero. Right now, he's very haphazard. He's putting in bad challenges, he's covering for a lot of players, and he's a bit all over the place, but I wouldn't put it just on him because I think you can see the quality there when he is playing well.
Eric Dyer, 3s all round from us. Another very poor display from him, to be honest. I don't know what he's doing when Romero gives away that penalty. He's like manhandles Mo Salah, completely takes him out, but he just forgets that the ball's just bypassing him and finding a Liverpool man in the box in Cody Gakpo. It's just shocking defending when he lets Salah drift in behind him for Luis Diaz's goal as well. And when you need a leader in that back line, what he's supposed to be, he just does not fill you with any sort of confidence whatsoever. And another shocking day at the office from him, unfortunately.
Yeah, and I thought on the ball his quality was really low, constantly just panicking, lumping the ball forward to no one, a bit similar to his Newcastle performance. I think it was 6 long passes attempted, only 1 completed. So that just goes to show how bad his passing was on the day. Even for the winner, it's harsh, but he was caught on his heels for that mistake from Lucas, and Jota was able to get ahead of him, and he wasn't able to get back and recover the situation. Wasn't completely his fault, but was caught on his heels a bit as well for that situation. And I just thought throughout the day, he didn't improve, maybe like Romero improved. He wasn't on the same level, so not great from Dyer.
Yeah, Ben Davis giving him a 4 all round, and I felt like he really struggled in the early stages of the game when Liverpool were coming on top of us and scored those 3 goals. I think he did kind of grow into the game a little bit, but not too much, so nothing really of note.
Yeah, I don't think he influenced the game positively on the ball whatsoever. I thought defensively he was pretty poor. I did think Salah didn't get too much joy down against him, to be honest, especially in the second half. I thought he dealt with it fairly well. But I felt on the ball, you expect Ben Davis to be a bit better than what he was. And especially in those first 15 minutes, he was dreadful defensively as well. Couldn't get near anyone. Improved a tad, but nothing of note. So poor rating.
Next up, Ivan Perisic. Sim gives him a 7. I gave him a 6. And you know what? For all the criticism I give Perisic, he is playing well at the moment. Last couple of games, he really has stepped it up. He took it past Van Dijk with absolute ease and crossed it, a pinpoint cross into the box to Harry Kane to put us on our way to our first goal. He only put 2 crosses in on the day. I felt he maybe could have influenced things a bit more, but that moment in the game was very high quality.
To be fair to him, I thought he was giving them quite a bit of trouble down that side, especially even in the second half. I thought he was linking quite well, and I see he seems to be finding better rhythm with Son of late as well, which I'm happy with. They're not kind of getting in each other's way at the moment, so it's
Took the season to be over for it to happen.
Yeah, unfortunately, he notched up his 13th assist of the season. Brilliant assist, not only with the dribble but a pinpoint cross around Kane's foot as well, and that deserves credit because 13 assists, that's not a bad total, and he could, 4 games to go, he could easily end up with 15 plus, and that would be a very good total for a wing back. So fair play to Perisic for that. Just a shame that he had to go through that bad form when we're right in the top 4 race.
Yeah, absolutely. Next up, Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, 6s all round from us. The midfield was non-existent in the first 20 minutes of the game, first 25 minutes of the game, completely being bypassed time and time again. But I did think that Højbjerg stepped in for the team after that. He grew in influence in the game. He became a big presence in that middle of the park. And he was influencing things going forward and keeping things ticking over as well. So started really bad from Højbjerg, but I felt like he grew into the game. Yeah,
and he started to find his passing range, I felt, throughout the game. Didn't really, in terms of final third contributions, wasn't really involved too much, but he definitely started to assert himself a bit more once Liverpool took their foot off the pedal, and that was positive. But you associate him maybe in the midfield to going forward a bit more. I didn't see too much of that, but at least he improved and wasn't overrun as much in that second half.
Moving on to Ollie Skipp. 7s all round from us. Again, was part of that midfield that got overran big time in the opening stages of that game. But again, I thought he grew into this game. And when you're looking at his performances over the last couple of weeks, they haven't been great. And this one was a massive step up from them. It was his brilliant pass, showing his passing range to find Perisic, that led us onto our first goal. And I felt he was really combative throughout. Maybe he could have seen red in the first half with that challenge on Luis Diaz. Obviously, Jota as well smashed him in the face with his studs where he should have seen red. But look, I thought it was a really good display from Skipp, and definitely much better than recent weeks.
Definitely, and I was really happy with this, with how we grew into the game. Brilliant ball for Perisic as well for the first goal, and I thought he was really starting to assert himself, and he was actually one of the ones getting us on the charge in that second half, and he was being aggressive but putting us on the front foot as well, and playing, and he had some decent quality about him. It was a shame he had to get taken off early for that gash to the head, because I thought he was playing really well at the moment. Obviously he came off for Richarlison, who scored, but much more positive than the last few weeks from Skippy.
Next up, Pedro Porro, right wing back. Sim gives him a 6. I gave him a 5. I mean, terrible for the first goal. Just, he goes to mark the man that Romero's marking, completely leaves Jones free at the back post, and they go 1-0 up. Defensively, I did think he was poor, especially in the first half. But in the second half, he actually grew in the game and was providing an outlet for us. He was a constant threat down that right-hand side in the second half. He actually did have our first shot on target in the first half with a shot from the halfway line, and had another shot on target in the second half as well. Did get taken off, and that proved to be the wrong decision.
Yeah, I didn't understand it, because I thought in the second half he was really gaining an influence, and his crosses were dangerous. Liverpool were struggling to deal with him, and I thought it was really positive, and it showed what he can do in that second half. And I think in general play, first half he was a bit all over the shop. His passing was poor and he kept losing the ball, but once he grew into the game, he started picking out some really nice passes. He was getting in all kinds of space, and if it wasn't for some good defending from Liverpool, he could have had an assist with a few of his crosses. Had a good shot as well, which was tipped over by Alisson. That was a really good attempt from about 25 yards from the angle. So I think offensively he was positive. Again, major work to do defensively for him though.
What I really like about Porro, that he's always got the eye either for the shot or the cross. He's never like passing it backwards or being boring or lazy with the ball. He's always looking to attack and always looking to hurt the opposition. But like he said, he needs to improve that defensive side of his game dramatically. But let's move on to the front line. Let's talk about Dejan Kulusevski. Sim gives him a 5. I gave him a 4. And I thought he was anonymous for the time he was on the pitch, bar 2 moments of quality, or 2 moments where one, he gets played through and he takes the shot and it'll stray at Alisson. He could have either square the ball or finish the ball better, because you really could have scored in that moment. It was a very good chance. And the other chance was Kulusevski plays the ball beautifully in behind for Heung-min Son, I think it was, and Heung-min Son hits the post. So apart from those 2 moments, I think he was pretty anonymous.
Yeah, I think it was a fairly quiet day. I think Robertson was very aggressive up against him, and he wasn't able to get the same space as maybe Son was on the other side, with Trent being more of a midfielder than a wing back. Those 2 moments of quality could have proved the difference. Unfortunately, didn't go away on the day, although he did well to rob Robertson off the ball, and it showed the hard work. And he started to grow a bit once Spurs started to grow, but I think he was rightly taken off when he was in it, and the tactical change helped us. So I think Mason deserves credit from that. But yeah, apart from those couple moments, it was a fairly quiet day.
Yeah, let's move on to Harry Kane. 8 all round for Kane, and I thought he was one of our best, if not the best player on the park yesterday. Lovely finish in the first half to get us back into the game with the Perisic cross volley in through the legs of Alisson, and he played a lovely ball to Romero where he hit the post with the volley. But look, in the second half, he was in the middle of everything, influencing a lot of our play going forward. He was a creator once again. So a really strong display from Kane once again.
Yeah, and again, when we're at our lowest, like last week against Newcastle, 5-0 down, he drags a goal back, and he dragged another goal back with a really good finish. And I thought he was standing out to be counted. I thought once we went to up top, he was causing Liverpool a nuisance, and he was dropping deep and finding Son with nice passing behind. His passing is just so good. You know that when he gets in those positions and Son makes one, he can put on a sixpence like he did Romero. So unlucky not to get an assist. And yeah, I thought it was a really good display. 25 got Premier League goals now this season. Second all-time Premier League goal scorer, now level with Wayne Rooney. So the records keep coming, and another good display from him.
Next up, Heung-min Son, 8 all round from us, and I thought this was one of his strongest displays of the season. I thought he was a constant threat throughout. He kept hanging on that last shoulder, didn't he? And he kept catching Liverpool out as well. He should have had more goals on the day. Hit both posts, I think he did on the day, albeit one of them might have been offside. And got his goal in the end with a nice finish when he got played through from Richarlison. And I just thought he was a constant threat throughout the game. And his performance probably I enjoyed the most out of the whole team.
Yeah, for sure. And his pace was what really was stretching Liverpool, and he was the one that was making them go back the other way. And he was really the only player exploiting the space. And even before, he had a shot cleared off the line as well. He had numerous chances, and obviously he got rewarded with his goal. So well taken, that touch to get it in front of him, and then the composure with the finish takes him to 10 Premier League goals this season. So all of a sudden, doesn't seem so bad his season when he gets to double figures in Premier League standings, but really a really impressive display, and was giving Liverpool so much trouble, and just showed what he can still do.
Yeah, absolutely. And in terms of the substitutes, Richarlison, 7s all round from him. He came on and just made a complete nuisance of himself. We know that about Richarlison. Finally got his first Premier League goal, which seemed like we all thought it was the equaliser right at the death in stoppage time. Lovely cross from Heung-min Son, by the way, which we didn't mention when we spoke about Sonny there. So he grabbed an assist. But Richarlison got the slightest of nicks on it, and it looped over Alisson, and we all thought that we got a famous draw at Anfield from being 3-0 down. He also should have had a penalty a few moments before that as well, manhandled by Konate. So yeah, it was a positive cameo from Richarlison.
Yeah, and I actually thought his first touch looked a lot better on this cameo as well, and he was starting to try and combine with Sonny, although there was still a bit of lack of care when he was doing so. But what he did, he added that chaos factor, didn't he, coming on, and Liverpool were struggling at that point to ward us off, and he was a good threat when he came on, just getting in the box, challenging Konate, trying to get on the end of things with headers, and he finally got his reward. He finally got his first Premier League goal. Second time he's been booked for celebrating, but only the first time he scored. But unfortunately, again, it went against us right at the end. Not his fault though. I think he did his bit, and it was great time to score at the time, but unfortunately didn't mean anything.
Yeah, I think it might have been the third time he got booked for celebrating as well, because I think he got booked against Marseille for celebrating too.
Did he? Yeah, he might have, yeah.
So, yeah, this guy definitely gets carried away when he does score. But no, I thought it was a positive cameo from him, and he would have loved scoring up at Anfield as well, being a former Everton player. Last player that we're going to rate is Pape Matar Sarr, 6 from Sim, 5 from me. And I felt like, I don't know, it was a weird performance from Sarr. I didn't see too many good things in there. I didn't see too many bad things in there. I thought it was a bit of an anonymous display.
I thought it was a decent cameo. I don't have too many complaints. I thought he played it safe. He wasn't like getting it forward too much, but he was keeping the ball nicely. Wasn't giving the ball away too many times, but wasn't kind of being progressive with it either. So I don't have too many complaints about Sarr's cameo.
Yeah, we're not going to rate these last two players, but you can't talk about this game and not mention Lucas Moura. You just can't. I mean, I'm sorry to say it, but he come on and just completely destroyed the game on. He comes on, within a minute of him coming on, we get the equaliser after being 3-0 down. And then how do you do what you do, man? How do you do that? As well as the last performance you made, you come on as well up at Merseyside, by the way, at Everton, and he gets sent off. We go on to draw the game, and now he does this where we've just clawed our way back from 3-0 down at Anfield. No one's ever done that in the Premier League era before. And then he just passes it, plays Jota straight through on goal, and we lose 4-3.
Yeah. I mean, what's more to say? I'm sure he looked distraught at the end of the game, but at the end of the day, it completely killed us with all the hard work, and it's tough to take. And he should be upset with that because it's such a lax moment in the game, such a lack of care with that pass, and there's no excuse for it.
Yeah. And let's finish off talking about Ryan Mason. Sim gives him an 8. I gave him a 7. Look. We started the game how we've been starting the last couple of weeks. So, I mean, it's hard to put that down on Mason, but he is the manager. So I guess he does need to take a portion of it. But the way that we clawed ourselves back, the way he got the players really fighting for the cause, not only just fighting for the cause, but he used his tactical flexibility as well to change tactics in games, using good subs as well. I thought the subs that he did do really did impact the game. Just the one that he didn't do that well, the last one that he did that really impacted the game was Lucas Moura coming on, so he gets marked down massively for that. But apart from that change, I thought he managed the game really well.
Yeah, and I was really impressed with how he was able to change systems and get different kind of level performances out of the players throughout the game. And the fact that he didn't let the players' heads drop, and we were still we kept plugging away, we kept fighting to get that point and dragging ourselves back from 3-0 down was impressive. And I thought he did really well throughout the game to get us back on level footing. Unfortunately, all the good work was undone right at the end. That wasn't completely his fault. But he has to find a way for us to stop starting games like this. Otherwise, we're never going to win games if we keep starting games like that. But fair play to Mason. I thought tactically, and I thought from a motivational standpoint, clearly he's doing something right at the moment, and he's getting the team definitely on the ball to be a lot more creative and finding those opportunities a lot better than we have been previously. So got to give him credit for that, but ended up with no points still. So unlucky for him, but I thought he managed the game well.
Is he surprising you tactically? Because obviously a big flaw, a big criticism on Antonio Conte was that we don't have enough variation in our play. We don't change things often enough when we need to, when we see the game drifting away from us. So the way Mason's handled the last couple of games with his in-game tactical switches, has that impressed you?
Yes, I'm not going to make sweeping assessments based on 2 games, but I do think that it's been positive. I have seen Conte change to a 3-5-2 during the game as well, so it's not like it's completely new. But I have to say, it's more about how he hasn't let our heads drop and how we've been able to come back from these situations that have been impressive. Whereas at 3-0 down, I don't think under the previous manager we would have got back in the game in that sort of way. So that has to be impressive. But I still want to see more from him.
Yeah. All right. Well, that is our player ratings for the 4-3 loss at Anfield yesterday. Let me know in the comments section below what your thoughts were on the game and what your player ratings are in the comment section below. Thank you for joining us. Like, subscribe and comment. And as always, come